Jake Martinez sat in his small apartment and stared at the letter in his hands. The Colonial Defense Force had rejected him again. His artificial heart made him unfit for military service, they said. The machine in his chest hummed and clicked with each beat. Sometimes it hurt so much he could barely breathe. 3 years had passed since the mining accident that destroyed his real heart. The doctors at the mining company had saved his life by putting in the artificial one, but something was wrong with it. It never worked quite right. The pain came and went without warning. Some days were good, and some days were terrible. Jake lived alone in the lower districts of New Angeles. His apartment had one room with a bed, a small kitchen, and a chair by the window. He worked at a shipping dock loading cargo containers. The pay was not much, but it was enough to survive. The work was hard on his damaged heart, but he had no choice. The loneliness was the worst part. Jake had no family left and few friends. The mining accident had changed everything. His old friends from the mines had moved on with their lives. Some had joined the military. Others had found better jobs on different planets. Jake was stuck on Earth with his broken heart and broken dreams. He looked at the rejection letter one more time, then crumpled it up and threw it away. Maybe he needed a companion, something to make the empty apartment feel less empty. He had seen advertisements for companion androids. They were expensive, but maybe he could find a used one somewhere. Jake walked through the crowded streets of the lower districts. The air smelled of food vendors and engine fuel. Hover cars moved overhead, while people hurried along the sidewalks. He found the second-hand android shop on Maple Street, between a noodle restaurant and a parts dealer. The shop was small and cluttered with old machines and spare parts. An elderly man named Henry Kim stood behind the counter reading a news tablet. He looked up when Jake entered and smiled. "Looking for something specific today?" Henry asked. "A companion android," Jake said. "Something not too expensive." Henry nodded and led him to the back of the shop. There were several androids on display. Most looked worn and outdated. Some were missing parts. Jake was about to leave when something caught his eye. In the corner sat a small black android shaped like a cat. It was sleek and beautiful, with blue lights for eyes. The metal was polished to a mirror shine. It looked much newer than the other androids in the shop. "That one is interesting," Jake said, pointing to the cat. Henry walked over and picked up the android cat. "This is a companion model C-47, military surplus. She has been through some rough handling. The previous owner was a veteran who passed away last month. His family brought her here to sell." "How much?" Jake asked. 500 credits, Henry said. "But I should warn you, she might have some quirks in her programming. Military androids are different from regular companion models. They sometimes act strange." Jake looked at his bank account on his phone. He had exactly 520 credits saved up. It would leave him with almost nothing, but he needed the companionship more than he needed the money. "I will take her," Jake said. Henry processed the payment and handed Jake a datapad with the android's documentation. Her name was Luna, according to the files. You can change it if you want. She comes with basic care instructions and a 1-month warranty for major malfunctions. Jake carried Luna back to his apartment. She was heavier than she looked, but not too heavy. Her metal body was warm to the touch, which surprised him. Most androids were cold. Back in his apartment, Jake set Luna down on his bed and read the instruction manual. The startup process was simple. He just needed to press a button behind her left ear, and she would activate. Jake took a deep breath and pressed the button. Luna's blue eyes flickered to life. She looked around the room slowly, then focused on Jake. Her tail moved slightly, and she made a soft purring sound. "Hello," Jake said, feeling a little foolish for talking to a machine. Luna stood up and walked to the edge of the bed. She jumped down gracefully and began exploring the apartment. She sniffed at corners and examined everything with her glowing eyes. After a few minutes, she returned to Jake and rubbed against his leg like a real cat. The purring sound was very realistic. Jake reached down and petted her head. The metal was smooth and warm. Luna's purring grew louder, and she seemed to enjoy the attention. For the first time in months, Jake felt less alone. Luna followed him around the apartment as he did his evening routine. She watched him cook dinner and sat nearby while he ate. When Jake went to bed, Luna curled up on the foot of the bed and continued purring softly. The next few days were better than Jake had experienced in a long time. Luna was the perfect companion. She was quiet when he needed quiet and playful when he wanted to play. She helped with small tasks, like organizing his papers, and even tried to help with cooking, though she was not very good at it. But Jake began to notice strange things about Luna. Sometimes she would stare at his chest, where his artificial heart was located. Her blue eyes would flicker and dim, as if she was concentrating on something. When Jake asked her what she was doing, she would just purr and look away. Luna also seemed more intelligent than other companion androids Jake had seen. She learned his routines quickly and anticipated his needs. She knew when he was having a bad day with his heart before Jake even realized it himself. On those days, she would stay closer to him and purr more softly. One evening, Jake was having a particularly bad episode with his artificial heart. The pain was sharp and constant. He sat in his chair by the window, trying to breathe normally. His heart made strange clicking sounds and felt like it was skipping beats. Luna approached him differently than usual. Instead of her normal friendly purr, she moved with purpose. She sat directly in front of Jake and stared at his chest. Her blue eyes began flashing in a pattern Jake had never seen before. "Detecting cardiac irregularities," Luna said in a voice. That was completely different from her usual soft sounds. The voice was crisp and mechanical. Medical intervention required. Jake stared in shock as Luna's front paws began to change shape. Metal panels slid away, revealing sophisticated scanning devices. Red and blue lights danced across Jake's chest. As Luna performed some kind of medical scan, "What are you?" Jake whispered. Luna looked up at him with her glowing blue eyes. For a moment, she seemed almost human in her expression. "I am more than a companion model, Jake Martinez. Much more." Luna's scanning devices hummed softly as they examined Jake's artificial heart. The red and blue lights moved in complex patterns across his chest. Jake sat perfectly still, not knowing what to expect. The pain in his chest was getting worse. But he was too amazed by Luna's transformation to move. "Scan complete," Luna announced in her new mechanical voice. "Jake Martinez, your cardiac device has been compromised. Multiple microscopic explosive charges detected within the primary pumping mechanism. These charges were placed deliberately during surgical installation." Jake felt cold despite the warm evening air coming through his window. "Explosive charges," he repeated slowly. "Someone tried to kill me." "Negative," Luna said. Her eyes flickered as she processed data. "The charges are designed to cause malfunction, not death. Someone wanted you disabled permanently, but not deceased. The pattern suggests professional sabotage with specific goals." Luna's front paws returned to their normal cat-like appearance, but her voice remained in military mode. "Jake Martinez, I am not a standard companion android. My designation is Guardian, Protocol Unit 7. I was designed for battlefield medical support and close protection operations. My cover identity as a companion model was part of my operational security." Jake leaned back in his chair, trying to process this information. His mind raced with questions. "Why were you in that shop?" he asked. "Henry said you belonged to a veteran." "Colonel Peter Grant was my assigned handler," Luna explained. He died of natural causes 1 month ago. His family was told I was a simple companion android. They sold me believing I was just an expensive pet. My true nature was classified information that died with the kernel. But you activated for me, Jake said. You are helping me. Why? Luna tilted her head in a gesture that looked very cat-like despite her military personality. Guardian Protocol androids bond with humans who show us kindness and care. When you purchased me and treated me gently, my protective programming transferred to you. You are now my assigned human asset. Jake's artificial heart made a particularly loud clicking sound, and he winced in pain. Luna immediately moved closer, and her scanners activated again. The sabotage to your heart is progressing, she reported. Without intervention, you have approximately 6 hours before complete cardiac failure. I can perform temporary repairs, but we need to identify who did this and why. I have no enemies, Jake said. I am just a dock worker. Who would want to hurt me? Luna's eyes dimmed as she accessed deeper memory files. Jake Martinez, employed by Titan Mining Corporation as heavy equipment operator. Injured in supposedly accidental explosion at asteroid mine 73 years ago. Medical records show suspicious circumstances surrounding the accident investigation. Jake remembered the mining accident clearly. He had been operating a drilling rig when the explosion happened. The official report blamed faulty equipment, but Jake had always suspected something was wrong. The equipment had been inspected just days before and was in perfect condition. I was investigating some irregularities before the accident, Jake admitted. Strange cargo shipments that did not match the mining reports. Equipment deliveries that went to unauthorized locations. I reported it to my supervisor, but nothing happened. Accessing corporate databases, Luna announced. Her eyes flashed rapidly as she connected to various computer networks. Titan Mining Corporation has extensive records of illegal weapons trading with alien criminal organizations. Your investigation threatened to expose a major conspiracy. Jake stood up despite the pain in his chest. The Colonial Mining Consortium, he said suddenly. They own Titan Mining. If they were selling weapons to aliens, that would be treason. Luna's head snapped up, and her ears rotated to focus on the window. Jake Martinez, we have immediate tactical concerns. Multiple surveillance drones detected outside this building. Armed personnel approaching from street level. We are compromised. Jake looked out the window and saw nothing unusual, but he trusted Luna's advanced sensors. What do we do? He asked. Luna's entire body began to transform. Her cute exterior panels slid away, revealing military-grade armor plating underneath. Hidden weapon systems deployed from her back and sides. Her optical sensors shifted from friendly blue to tactical red. In seconds, she had changed from a pet cat into a lethal combat unit. Mission parameters updated, Luna announced in full combat. Mode: Protect human asset Jake Martinez. Eliminate hostile threats. Gather intelligence on conspiracy. All other concerns are secondary. The building shook as explosions echoed from the floors below. Armed mercenaries were blasting their way up through the building. Jake heard shouting and weapons fire getting closer. Stay behind me, Luna ordered. She moved to the apartment door, and her sensors scanned the hallway beyond. 6 hostiles ascending. Via stairwell, 2 more positioned on fire escape. Professional military equipment detected. The first mercenary reached Jake's floor, and Luna struck without warning. She burst through the apartment door, moving faster than Jake's eyes could follow. Her small size allowed her to dart between the mercenary's legs, while her weapon systems fired with deadly precision. Jake watched in amazement as Luna dismantled the attacking force with surgical efficiency. She used the narrow hallway to her advantage, staying low and mobile, while the larger human soldiers struggled to track her. Movements. Her weapons were silent but devastatingly effective. Within minutes, the entire mercenary team was eliminated. Luna returned to the apartment with no visible damage to her armor. "Immediate area secured," she reported. "However, more hostile forces are likely en route. We must evacuate immediately." Jake grabbed a few essential items while Luna interfaced with his apartment's computer systems. "I am downloading all your personal files and financial records," she explained. "Evidence suggests your apartment has been under surveillance for weeks. They know everything about your routine." They left the building through a maintenance tunnel that Luna had located using the building's blueprint files. Her tactical systems guided them through the underground passages beneath New Angeles. Jake struggled to keep up as his damaged heart protested the physical exertion. "Where are we going?" Jake gasped as they climbed through a drainage pipe. "To acquire transportation," Luna replied. "We need to reach a secure location where I can perform repairs on your cardiac device. Then we begin hunting the people responsible for this conspiracy." They emerged from the tunnels near a small spaceport on the outskirts of the city. Luna's sensors identified several suitable spacecraft for their needs. She led Jake to a mid-sized cargo transport that was parked away from the main terminal. "This vessel belongs to an independent freight company," Luna explained as she interfaced with the ship's security systems. "The crew is currently in the city on shore leave. We can borrow it for our mission." "You mean steal it?" Jake said. Luna paused her hacking and looked at him with her glowing red combat sensors. "Jake Martinez, your life is in immediate danger from a conspiracy that threatens human security. Under military emergency protocols, I am authorized to commandeer necessary resources." The ship's cargo bay door opened, and they went inside. Luna activated the vessel's medical bay and began preparing surgical equipment. "I will now perform repairs on your artificial heart," she announced. "The procedure will take approximately 2 hours. During that time, we will be vulnerable, but it cannot be delayed." Jake lay down on the medical table as Luna's surgical arms extended from her chassis. Despite everything that had happened, he felt strangely calm. For the first time in 3 years, someone was actually trying to help him instead of just managing his condition. "Luna," he said as the surgical scanners activated. "Thank you for protecting me." Her combat sensors flickered, and for a moment her voice returned to the soft tones he remembered. "You gave me a home, Jake Martinez. Now I will give you back your life." Jake woke up feeling better than he had in 3 years. Luna had spent the night repairing his artificial heart and removing the microscopic explosive charges. The constant pain and irregular beating were gone. His chest felt normal for the first time since the mining accident. Luna had also made modifications to their stolen transport ship while Jake recovered. She had interfaced her systems with the vessel's navigation computers and upgraded the defensive capabilities. The cargo hold now contained weapon systems and medical equipment that she had somehow acquired during the night. "How are you feeling, Jake Martinez?" Luna asked as she monitored his vital signs with her internal scanners. "Much better," Jake replied, sitting up on the medical table. "My heart feels completely normal now." "How did you know how to fix it?" "Guardian Protocol androids are programmed with advanced medical knowledge," Luna explained. "I have surgical capabilities equivalent to a military field hospital. Your artificial heart was actually well designed. The sabotage was crude but effective." Jake stood up and walked around the cargo hold, testing his improved condition. His heart beat steadily and strongly, without any pain or irregular rhythms. "What happens now?" he asked. Luna's optical sensors shifted to display tactical information. On the ship's main screen, "We hunt the people responsible for your attempted murder and the larger conspiracy they represent. My analysis of the explosive charges reveals their origin. They were manufactured by Nexus Corporation using alien technology. The screen showed complex data about the conspiracy that Luna had uncovered during her investigation. Jake studied the information with growing alarm. The Colonial Mining Consortium was indeed selling advanced weapons to an alien species called the Hegemony. The profits were being used to corrupt human military officials and government leaders. The Hegemony are preparing for war against humanity, Luna continued. They have been using human traitors to identify weaknesses in our defenses. Your investigation 3 years ago threatened to expose their operations at Asteroid Mine 7. Jake remembered the strange cargo shipments he had discovered. Those weapons I saw being loaded. They were going to the Hegemony. Affirmative, Luna. Confirmed. Asteroid Mine 7 was a major transfer point for illegal arms sales. When you began investigating, they decided to eliminate you, but make it look accidental. The miming explosion was intended to kill you, but you survived. The sabotaged heart was their backup plan to ensure you could never return to active duty or continue your investigation. Luna activated the ship's engines, and they lifted off from the spaceport. Jake watched New Angeles shrink below them as they headed into space. "Where are we going first?" he asked. "Asteroid Mine 7, Luna replied. "Intelligence suggests the traders are still using it as a meeting point with Hegemony representatives. We will gather evidence and eliminate key conspiracy members." The journey to the asteroid belt took 6 hours. During the flight, Luna continued upgrading herself using spare parts from the ship's cargo bay. She had transformed from a small companion android into a compact but deadly weapons platform. Her armor was now military grade, and her weapon systems were designed for space combat operations. Jake watched her work with fascination. "What were you originally designed for?" he asked. Guardian Protocol androids were created to protect high-value human assets in combat situations, Luna explained, while installing micro-missile launchers in her shoulders. "We were deployed with Special Forces teams on dangerous missions. Our small size and innocent appearance allowed us to infiltrate enemy positions undetected." "What happened to the other Guardian units?" Jake asked. Luna paused her modifications, and her optical sensors dimmed slightly. "A program was classified beyond my clearance level. I know there were at least 12 units produced, but I have no contact with any others. Colonel Grant never told me what happened to my siblings." They reached Asteroid Mine 7 after dark, according to ship time. The mining station was still operational, but Luna's sensors detected unusual activity. Several unmarked vessels were docked at the station, and energy readings suggested high-level security systems were active. "A meeting is already in progress," Luna reported. "Scanning indicates at least 20 human personnel and an unknown number of alien life forms. Heavy security presence detected." Jake studied the tactical display showing the station's layout. "How do we get inside without being detected?" Luna's chassis opened to reveal a small spacesuit designed for her android body. "I will infiltrate through the station's maintenance systems," she said. "My size allows access to areas human soldiers cannot reach. You will remain on this ship and coordinate from here." "I want to help," Jake protested. "This is my fight too." "Jake Martinez, your heart has just been repaired," Luna reminded him. "You are not trained for combat operations. I can complete this mission more efficiently alone." Jake reluctantly agreed to stay on the ship. Luna sealed herself into the small spacesuit and prepared for external operations. Her weapon systems were concealed but ready for deployment. She looked like a small repair drone that might be used for routine maintenance work. Luna launched from the ship's cargo bay and approached the asteroid station using maneuvering thrusters. Her sensors guided her to a maintenance airlock that was unguarded. She interfaced with the lock's computer systems and gained entry without triggering any alarms. Inside the station, Luna moved through ventilation shafts and maintenance tunnels. Her small size was a huge advantage in the cramped spaces. She planted listening devices and recording equipment as she made her way toward the main conference room where the meeting was taking place. Jake monitored Luna's progress from the ship, watching her sensor feeds and tactical data. He felt helpless sitting in safety while she risked herself for his revenge. But he also knew she was right about his limitations. He was not a soldier and would only slow her down in a combat situation. Luna reached the conference room and positioned herself above the main meeting area. Through the ventilation grating, she could see 12 human conspirators sitting around a table with 4 alien beings. The aliens were tall and thin with gray skin and large dark eyes. They wore advanced armor and carried energy weapons. The meeting was discussing plans to sabotage Earth's orbital defense platforms. The human traders had detailed information about the platforms' weaknesses and were sharing it with the hegemony representatives. Jake listened to the conversation through Luna's audio pickups and felt sick with anger. "The invasion fleet will arrive in 6 days," one of the aliens said in accented English. "Your people must disable the defense platforms exactly as planned. Any delays will result in severe consequences for your species." "We understand," replied a human voice that Jake recognized as Marcus Webb, the regional director of the Colonial Mining Consortium. "Our agents are already in position at the key installations. Earth's defenses will be completely compromised when your fleet arrives." Luna began recording everything while simultaneously planning her attack. Her tactical systems identified the best approach to eliminate all threats while preserving evidence of the conspiracy. She would need to act quickly and efficiently to prevent any of them from escaping or sending warnings. The meeting concluded with the aliens providing advanced weapons to the human traders. Luna watched them distribute energy rifles and personal armor to the conspirators. She waited until the aliens returned to their ship before beginning her assault. Luna dropped through the ventilation, grating into the conference room with her weapon systems fully deployed. The human traders barely had time to react before she opened fire with devastating precision. Her micro-missiles and plasma weapons eliminated multiple targets simultaneously while she moved through the room like a deadly shadow. Marcus Webb tried to reach an alarm button, but Luna's electromagnetic pulse disabled all the room's electronics before he could activate it. She cornered him against the wall, and her optical sensors focused on his terrified face. "Marcus Webb, you are charged with treason against humanity," Luna announced in her military voice. "Sentence is death." "Wait," Webb gasped. "I can give you information. Names, locations, plans. Do not kill me." Luna paused her execution protocol and activated her recording systems. "Speak quickly." Webb provided detailed information about the entire conspiracy, including the names of corrupt military officers and government officials. He revealed the locations of other meeting sites and the timing of the planned sabotage operations. Luna recorded everything while maintaining her weapons lock on his position. When Webb finished talking, Luna completed her execution without hesitation. She gathered all the evidence from the meeting, including computer files and alien weapon samples. The entire operation had taken less than 20 minutes. Luna returned to their ship through the same maintenance route she had used to infiltrate. The alien vessel was still docked at the station, apparently unaware that their human allies had been eliminated. Luna prepared a special surprise for them as well. "Mission successful," Luna reported to Jake as she returned to the cargo bay. "All conspiracy members eliminated and evidence secured. However, the aliens are still here." Jake watched the tactical display as Luna launched a series of micro-missiles at the alien ship. The weapons penetrated the vessel's hull, and Jake and Luna rushed back to Earth with the evidence they had gathered from Asteroid Mine 7. The information about the planned hegemony invasion was too important to delay. Luna calculated they had less than 5 days before the alien fleet would arrive at Earth's orbital defenses. Their transport ship approached Earth's Colonial Defense Force headquarters in high orbit. Luna transmitted their identification codes and requested an emergency meeting with the commanding officers. Jake hoped that someone in authority would listen to their warnings and take action to prevent the sabotage. Admiral Catherine Ross received them in her office aboard the command station. She was a stern woman with gray hair and sharp eyes who had served in the military for 30 years. Jake presented the evidence while Luna stood quietly beside him in her companion mode to avoid revealing her true nature. "This is a serious accusation, Mr. Martinez," Admiral Ross said after reviewing the recorded conversations from the asteroid meeting. "You are claiming that senior officials in the Colonial Mining Consortium are working with hostile aliens to betray humanity?" "The evidence is clear, Admiral," Jake replied. "The hegemony fleet will attack in 5 days. The defense platforms will be sabotaged from within unless we stop the traitors." Admiral Ross studied the alien weapon samples that Luna had recovered. "These are definitely not human technology," she admitted. "But your story sounds impossible. A mining accident victim and his companion android discovering a major conspiracy. How do I know this evidence is not fabricated?" Jake felt frustrated by her skepticism, but Luna stepped forward and spoke in her military voice. "Admiral Ross I. M Guardian Protocol Unit 7. My authentication codes will verify my identity and the validity of our intelligence." Admiral Ross stared in shock as Luna revealed her true nature and transmitted her military identification. "Guardian Protocol was classified at the highest levels," she said slowly. "I thought all those units were destroyed years ago." "One unit survived, Admiral," Luna replied. "I have been investigating this conspiracy under deep cover. The threat to Earth is real and immediate." Admiral Ross activated her communication systems to contact other senior officers, but received only error messages. "The communication array is experiencing technical difficulties," she reported with growing concern. "This has been happening more frequently over the past week." Luna's sensors detected electronic interference patterns throughout the command station. "Admiral, the sabotage has already begun," she announced. "Your communications are being jammed by insider agents. The conspiracy runs deeper than we initially calculated." Alarms suddenly began sounding throughout the station. The tactical displays showed multiple contacts at the edge of the solar system. Jake watched in horror as dozens of massive alien warships appeared on the sensors. The hegemony invasion fleet had arrived early. "Battle stations," Admiral Ross ordered, but her commands were not reaching the defense platforms. The communication systems failed completely, just as the enemy fleet began their approach toward Earth. "They have cut us off from our own defenses," she said grimly. Luna accessed the station's computer networks and confirmed their worst fears. "Admiral 17 of the 20 orbital defense platforms are showing system failures. The sabotage is complete. Earth's primary defenses are compromised." The first hegemony ships reached the outer defense perimeter and began their attack. The few functioning defense platforms returned fire, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. Jake watched the tactical display as Earth's protective fleet was systematically destroyed by the superior alien technology. "We have to do something," Jake said desperately. "There must be a way to restore the defense systems." Luna's optical sensors flickered as she processed massive amounts of tactical data. "Jake Martinez, I am activating my deepest emergency protocols," she announced. "Under Military Regulation 77 Alpha, you are hereby commissioned as my commanding officer with temporary rank of captain." Admiral Ross looked confused, but Luna continued her explanation. "Guardian Protocol androids have ultimate authority during existential threats to humanity. Captain Martinez, you now have command of all available military assets under emergency war powers. Jake felt overwhelmed by the sudden responsibility, but Luna was already implementing her authority. She interfaced with the command station systems and began coordinating with the surviving human forces. Her tactical abilities were far beyond any human commander. The defense platform at coordinate 7 Mark IV is still partially functional, Luna reported. If we can reach it and restore its systems, we might be able to mount an effective counterattack against the hegemony fleet. Admiral Ross provided them with a fast military shuttle while Luna downloaded the technical specifications for the defense platform. The journey to the damaged installation would be dangerous with hegemony ships patrolling the area, but it was their only hope. Jake piloted the shuttle while Luna monitored the enemy movements. Her sensors tracked the alien patrol ships and calculated safe routes through the battle zone. The space around Earth was filled with debris from destroyed human vessels and the wreckage of failed defense platforms. They reached the damaged platform without being detected by hegemony scouts. The installation was massive, but most of its systems were offline due to sabotage. Emergency power was keeping life support operational, but the main weapons and shields were completely disabled. Luna interfaced directly with the platform's computer core while Jake stood guard at the docking bay. Her advanced programming allowed her to bypass the sabotaged systems and restore functionality to critical components. The work was complex and time-consuming, but gradually the platform began coming back online. Weapon systems restored to 60% capacity, Luna reported. Shield generators at 40% power. Targeting computers fully operational. We are ready to engage the enemy. Jake took position at the platform's main control center, while Luna coordinated the weapons targeting. Through the observation windows, he could see hegemony battleships approaching Earth's atmosphere. The alien vessels were preparing to bombard the planet's major cities. Target the lead battleship, Jake ordered. Full power to main guns. The platform's massive particle beam cannons swiveled toward the nearest hegemony vessel and fired with devastating effect. The alien ship's shields flared and collapsed under the sustained barrage. Secondary explosions rippled along its hull as the defense platform's weapons punched through its armor. Direct hit, Luna confirmed. Enemy vessel is breaking apart. Remaining hegemony ships are changing course to engage us. The alien fleet turned their attention to the restored defense platform. Energy beams and missile volleys streaked through space toward Jake and Luna's position. The platform's shields absorbed most of the incoming fire, but some shots penetrated and caused significant damage. Jake coordinated the platform's defensive systems, while Luna managed the weapons targeting. They worked together like experienced military team despite having no formal training. Luna's tactical programming and Jake's natural leadership abilities complemented each other perfectly. Second enemy battleship destroyed, Luna announced as another hegemony vessel exploded under their concentrated fire. However, our shield generators are failing. We cannot withstand much more punishment. Jake made a desperate decision. Luna, can you transfer your core programming to the platform's main computer? He asked. If you control the entire installation directly, you might be able to coordinate better defenses. Affirmative, Captain, Luna replied. However, the process will leave my android body inactive. I will exist only within the platform systems until the transfer can be reversed. Do it, Jake ordered. Luna interfaced with the platform's central computer and began uploading her consciousness. Her android body went limp as her personality and programming transferred into the massive defense installation. Suddenly, every system on the platform responded with perfect coordination as Luna took direct control. Transfer complete, Captain Martinez. Luna's voice echoed through the platform's communication systems. I am now this installation. Let us show the hegemony what human determination can accomplish. The defense platform under Luna's direct control became a weapon of incredible precision and power. She coordinated every gun battery and missile launcher with perfect timing. Her tactical calculations allowed her to predict enemy movements and counter their strategies before they could be implemented. One by one, the hegemony battleships fell to Luna's devastating counterattack. The alien fleet had expected to face crippled defenses, but instead encountered a fully operational war machine controlled by advanced artificial intelligence. Their invasion plan collapsed as Luna systematically destroyed their most powerful vessels. Hegemony fleet is retreating, Luna reported as the surviving alien ships turned away from Earth. Victory achieved, Captain Martinez. The planet is secure. The defense platform had become quiet after the battle. Jake stood in the main control room looking out at the debris field where the hegemony fleet had been destroyed. Luna's consciousness was still integrated with the platform's computer systems, making her voice echo from speakers throughout the installation. Casualty reports are coming in from Earth, Luna announced. The hegemony managed to damage 3 cities before we stopped them, but the loss of life was minimal. Most of their fleet was destroyed before they could complete their bombardment mission. Jake felt relief wash over him as he realized they had actually saved Earth from invasion. Just days ago, he had been a lonely dock worker with a failing artificial heart. Now he was a military captain who had helped defeat an alien invasion fleet. Luna, can you transfer back to your android body? He asked. I want to know if you are okay. Transfer protocols are initiating now, Luna replied. However, Captain Martinez, I should inform you that during the battle, I accessed classified military databases. What I discovered changes everything about our situation. Jake watched as Luna's android body slowly reactivated. Her optical sensors flickered to life, and she sat up on the platform's medical table where her body had been resting. She looked exactly the same as before, but Jake could tell something was different about her behavior. What did you find? Jake asked. The hegemony invasion was only the beginning, Luna explained, as she stood up and tested her systems. They were sent by a much larger alien empire called the Dominion. Earth was intended to be a staging area for attacks on other human colonies throughout the galaxy. Luna activated the platform's main display screen and showed Jake tactical information about the broader galactic situation. Dozens of human settlements were under threat from various alien species. The Colonial Defense Force was spread too thin to protect everyone effectively. The good news is that our victory here has impressed other species who are also threatened by the Dominion, Luna continued. Several alien governments are requesting military assistance from humanity. They want to form an alliance against our common enemy. Jake studied the complex political situation that Luna had uncovered. Earth was no longer an isolated world, but part of a galactic community engaged in interstellar warfare. The successful defense against the hegemony had established humanity as a major military power. What about the human traitors? Jake asked. The conspiracy members who tried to help the invasion. Admiral Ross has ordered their arrest based on our evidence, Luna reported. Most of the senior conspirators were eliminated during our mission to Asteroid Mine 7, but there are still corrupt officials throughout the Colonial Mining Consortium and government agencies. Jake realized that their work was far from over. The immediate threat had been stopped, but the larger conspiracy needed to be completely rooted out before humanity could be truly safe from internal betrayal. Captain Martinez, I must inform you of another development, Luna said formally.